Today, we're joined by a very special guest, an incredibly talented actor, writer, and director whose work spans some of the most iconic films and series of the last few decades. You've seen him in Jurassic Park, Simon Birch, The Social Network, Bohemian Rhapsody, and the HBO miniseries The Pacific. He's been in the industry since he was a kid, and if you follow his Instagram, you'll see he's also one of the funniest and most down-to-earth guys out there. Please welcome Joe Mazzello. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey
How
Joe,
you doing?
How you doing? Great, man. Doing fantastic.
doing
We're
well.
big fans of
Thank
your
you
work,
for
man.
the Simon Birch plug. You don't get that very often, which is nice.
I watched that movie in school. I don't know if Mike,
Yeah,
I don't know if you watched it in school too. It was a thing like every year we used to watch it in class, like for English. I don't know why.
yeah. I've heard that actually that it's been shown in schools. A couple of my movies have been shown in school for whatever reason. I'm happy about it. I think it's a great movie. And maybe a little underrated one. And thank you for the Instagram plug as well. I don't do it enough. Like I usually get like, yeah, a good response and try to be as funny as I can. But I'm also lazy. So like I'm always like, oh, I should really post that funny video, and then it takes me 3 months. So
Well,
whatever.
well,
I'll try to get back into it more so in the near future. How about that?
for sure. Yeah, I know. It's awesome when I was going through your page, I was like doing like, before we were doing the prepping and stuff, I went through it and I was like, wow, this guy's like hilarious. So it was I'm like I knew today was gonna be really good. We're gonna have a lot of laughs. But
Yeah, I'm Italian. You got to be funny. Come on,
of
right?
course,
That's
Yeah,
we're,
true.
we're
And I was gonna say anything you want to collab on with the page too, let us know, man. Definitely, social media is the way for sure. So
Yes, we're very gregarious people, I think. Very
for
you know,
sure.
outgoing,
Yeah.
oh,
And
1000%.
expressive, I should say.
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. I want to kick it off going back to the beginning when you were a kid. Your first big break at only 9 years old was working with Steven Spielberg on Jurassic Park, which is one of my favorite movies. And first off, what was that whole experience just filming that movie with him, with a legendary director?
Yeah, I actually started when I was 8, believe it or not.
Oh, because filming, I guess, right? And then it came out when you were,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It
that's
came
right. Yeah.
about because he was very good friends with Dick Donner, director of Superman, and The Omen and Goonies. And I did a movie with him called Radio Flyer. So Steven would come on set to look at me for the movie Hook that he was making around the same time. And so he would take me out and show me like Neverland that they were setting up. And it was amazing. I did a screen test with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman. It was surreal. Like I still remember it. It was just me, Steven, and those two in a room. Incredible.
Well,
Um,
sorry, what was the role you were going to be playing?
Jack, the boy.
No way. Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
man.
Robin Williams' son. And I didn't get it. I was a little too young, they felt, and like a little too, I guess, like sweet looking. They wanted someone a little more rough and tumble. So Steven came up to me and he said, "Don't worry, Joey." He called me Joey. "Don't worry, Joey. I'm going to get you in a movie this summer." And that movie was Jurassic Park. He offered it to me. He changed the ages of the kids because in the book it's the boy who's older and the girl's younger. He switched the ages so I could be in it. And then we were off to the races. Steven was and is to this day one of the most amazing people I've ever worked with. He never lost that like that childhood imagination and that like whimsy, that like love for making movies. Like he's still like I feel like he actually I like identifies the reason he has so many kids in his movies is I think that that's what he actually identifies as still. Like he's still that little boy playing with G.I. Joes in his backyard. But he's also like an incredible businessman and has his finger on the pulse. And he, if the crew isn't doing a good job, someone isn't doing a good job on the crew, he's going to make sure that, he gets them into shape. So like he's a professional. He's brilliant. Working with him was a dream that I wish I could do my whole life. But that's not the way it goes. But yeah, I mean, that entire experience was incredible. 2 months in Hawaii, 2 months in Los Angeles on stages. Um, Everything about it was like kind of a dream come true.
Yeah, and something I read that was actually really funny was that, and I want to get your thoughts on this. That Spielberg he kept the full size T-Rex animatronic on set, even when it was not used, just so the cast could feel its presence. Like, do you remember what that was like being a kid, just acting around something that was like ginormous and so massive and lifelike?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else they could put it. So, probably was just going to be hanging out on stage 27 at Universal anyway. But no, he was amazing. Like he used to call, like, you got to go to school on set when you're a kid. So he used to like knock on the door and just like come in and be like, field trip. And he would take me to like go look at the T-Rex, like when it was first like on set and show me how it worked and showed me how it was able to move and just kind of like wanted to just like again like be that child, like discover it with us, see our reactions to like these like enormous, animatronic dinosaurs that we were going to be able to work with, and the shots he was going to set up and the cranes. And he knew I had a real love for directing as well, so he always wanted to show me the latest things that he was going to be doing. So he was just always wanting to kind of live in that moment with us. And I think it kept him, I'm speaking for him, but I think it kept him excited and kept him again connecting to that childlike whimsy that made him so successful with these big blockbusters for all ages.
Yeah, and this franchise it's still so popular to this day. Obviously, there's a new Jurassic World movie coming out. Has there ever been like times where they've approached you and said, "Hey, you want to appear in this movie?" Was it something that they've done, they haven't done, or you turned down or something? Like what's the story behind that?
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I would never turn that down. Are you kidding? I'd love to come back. I mean, obviously, I did a little cameo. Me and Ariana did a cameo in Lost World,
Yes.
um, and that was the last time we were approached. I've definitely like talked to some people on the inside there, and there is always talk of like, hey, they're going to be making these movies for a long time. Kind of a you never know, like, stay ready. But I've never gotten that phone call. So I don't know. I would love to do it. I hope it happens one day. I don't know if there's some resistance inside somewhere, but I've even like, had conversations with like very, very main people about it. So could happen one day. Haven't gotten the phone call yet. I'll be ready if it does.
You know what, Joe? It's funny. Like but I think I'm gonna manifest it. You know why? Because they seem to always do that. Like even there's a new the new I Know What You Did Last Summer coming out, and they're
Yeah.
bringing back Freddie Prinze Jr. and I think it's Sarah Michelle Gellar too is in it. So you never know. They might do another one. They may bring the OGs back, right?
I would love that, definitely when they brought back Sam and Laura and Jeff for the Last World. It was just like, oh man, I was like so gutted. I wanted to be a part of that so much. Um, but like, yeah, like you said, it definitely could happen. And you're right, like movies from like the 80s and 90s, they're just like bringing everybody back except for Jurassic. I'm like, come on, man. Like, when's it happening? Like, I can't wait. But you never know. You know what I mean? We'll see. Again, I stay ready. I'm staying in shape so I can run from the dinosaurs if need be. You know what I mean? I'm doing a lot of like cardio to make sure I'm ready for it when it happens. But yeah, you never know. I'd love to do it.
That's awesome. And like it's interesting because you've done so many of these like great movies as a child star, and actually one of the movies I didn't get to mention, Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford. That was also another really good movie I watched when I was a kid, and it's just interesting that you've done all those movies at such a young age with some of these big talented people, directors, actors. But what's something that you think every child actor should know before entering the industry? Like what were some of the challenges that you went through, and maybe that some advice you could pass down?
Yeah, I mean, Presumed Innocent was actually my very first feature film. I did a TV movie before that, and then that was the next one. So that was like very early in my career, 6 years old. Okay. What advice would I give? Well, you kind of just gotta be, you kind of gotta get lucky. You gotta have a great support system. You gotta have great parents, or a
Yeah.
great, you know, uh, parental figure in your life because it's tough for kids. You can get really swept up in it. I don't think kids were meant to have like that much attention. Like, you're on these sets and you're like the most important person in the world, you feel like. And, the one thing you know about the movie industry is here today, gone tomorrow. So you got to be ready for like it to all go away. My dad used to say to me before I started every movie ever, he would say, Joe, this could be your last movie. You got to be okay with that. Are you okay with that? Would you be okay if this was your last movie? He always wanted me to love it, but not live for it. He didn't want it to be my identity. He didn't want it to be something where if it was gone, I would feel like I didn't exist anymore, or my reason for living was gone. And he never wanted it to get to my head like that. So he would always say that to me, and I'd always be like, yes, Dad, like, yes, like I would be okay. Like I love it, but like I would be okay. Like my sister acted too before I did. And it was always a thing where, again, the importance of parents not living through your kids, not wanting it for yourself through them. She didn't want to do it anymore when she turned 12 years old. That was it. She didn't do it anymore. That was the end. She danced. She ended up going to Harvard Law. She was fine. Um, but it's something where you can't get yourself too wrapped up in the fame and the glitz and the glamour. Like we never moved out to LA. I was a New York kid, lived upstate New York. Never moved out to LA, never did that kind of thing where like we kind of broke up the family. It was always I would go do movies and then I would go home and play in the leaves and go to a normal, Catholic school and just like lived on a cul-de-sac, had my friends, and I got to kind of live these like two childhoods, which was really great. But I worked with people like Brad Renfro always comes to mind, who just didn't have that like support system, didn't have parents that were really in his life. And he kind of went the wrong direction and we lost him way too young. And it's always devastated me. So advice to child actors, um, just make sure, my advice to child actors is not advice to child actors. My advice is to the parents.
Yeah.
Make sure that you don't let your child get involved with the wrong people. Don't let your child live for this. Don't let it get to their heads. Do it while they enjoy it. My parents wanted me to do it, one because I loved it. I loved performing, but two, just to put away money for college. That was their only thing. Grew up poor, just wanted to. My dad was my parents were both dancers. My dad was on Broadway, so show business was kind of in the family. They knew the world, and they just wanted to put away money for us, and that was it. They didn't even know that. You're talking about presumed innocent. When I'll tell you a little story. Sorry, I'm going a little long,
No,
but
no, go
like
ahead. Yeah, this is great, man.
my
Go.
my that was like I said, it was the first movie I was going to do. There was a feature film, not on TV. Our union is Screen Actors Guild. So to do that movie, we had to join the Screen Actors Guild. In order to do that, you had to pay a couple $1,000 just to like kind of initiation fee. There's also something called the Coogan account where you have to take some of the money and put it into a specific account that parents can't touch. It's supposed to meant to protect kids from, kind of predatory parents or parents that are kind of steal their money or whatever. Okay, it has its benefits, but it has its minuses for good parents like mine. My parents looked at it, they said, wait a minute, wait a minute. We've done the math. We're going to be losing money to do this movie. Like it's actually going to cost us money in order for Joe to do this movie. We're not doing it. Like that's the whole point of this is to like create some kind of nest egg for Joe so that he can like, get into school and kind of put something away. We're not doing it. My manager was like, says to my dad, he's like, Joe, you don't understand. Harrison Ford is in this movie, right? This is 1989. My dad covers the phone, turns to my mom, goes, Ginny, who's Harrison Ford? My mom responds, I don't know. My dad goes, yeah, who's Harrison Ford? Like, Joey's the biggest star in the entire world. What are you talking about? Okay, well, we don't care who Harrison Ford is. We're not doing it. Goodbye. Click.
No.
They call back
Oh,
2 days
way.
later. Um, they're gonna give you more money. They're gonna pay for you to join SAG. They're also adding you to 2 scenes. Will you do it? And my dad was like, yes, now we'll do it. So that was my parents, right? They were the opposite of stage parents. They didn't even know movies. They didn't care. They just had one thing in mind, right? Like, we're putting money away for the kids. We're going to give them a leg up in life. And that was it. And if you have that mentality and you keep it all in perspective, that it's not a career, it's not like their life, then kids can make it. But it's tough, man. It's tough. Being a child actor is not easy
Y-
for the kids. I'll say that.
One thing I gotta just bring this up because I'm just a little mind blown right now. Wait, so your parents
Yep.
never watched like Indiana Jones or something? They didn't.
Dude, didn't care, didn't know. Didn't really know Star Wars, didn't really know Indiana Jones. Like they didn't know any of it. They didn't care. Like it's just like it wasn't even in their like world. Like you could ask my mom like every choreographer who's ever lived and like every production of whatever show ever, and she'll know all of that. She'll know all of Broadway. Movies, had no idea.
I also want to bring up another amazing movie that you did, because obviously one of my favorite bands is Queen, and I'm a big like 70s, 80s, 90s old soul, even though I was born in 1999. But I think you did such a great job with that performance as John Deacon. I just gotta say, because like you really captured his energy. I mean, like he was obviously the more quiet one in the group and more reserved, and he doesn't have a ton of dialogue in the film. But like, I'm curious if that was harder for you to bring that character to life, given those reasons. Like, did you have to rely more on facial expressions, body language, and stuff like that to really kind of get the essence of that character down?
Yeah, yeah, it's always different, right? Like being the lead of something and being supporting cast, it's very different actually. The amount of kind of like time and attention that you get on set when you're supporting role is a lot less. And it's just the way it is. Nothing wrong with it. I've been on both ends of it. I've been the lead, I've been a smaller role, whatever. You've got to be, but the thing is, like when you're a smaller role, you got to be ready. You got to be so prepared because like you're not going to have a lot of time to really like discover it in the moment often. Um, with that movie, yeah, I just did like, of course we had to play the instruments too. So I was doing 6 weeks of rehearsals for Live Aid. I was doing bass lessons 5 days a week. So all of that. And then just on my own time, I was just studying John. Like every interview I could find online, which weren't a ton, but enough. I would just really study him. And like the reason that I even like got the role, obviously, is because I kind of had a resemblance to him. And the director noticed that. And so I didn't know what he looked like. And when I looked him up, I kind of saw him and kind of like scrunched my face a little bit and just kind of like held my mouth a little differently. And I was like, oh yeah, like I can look like this guy. Um, and like whatever. I'm an actor. That's kind of like what I'm good at, is that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like kind of embodying someone else. So it came kind of natural to me. The accent was very unique. So that was something I really wanted to study. Although I got the role off of they sent me a 2-minute interview that John Deacon did where he's kind of on a bus and talking to the interviewer and the bus is moving and the sun's kind of coming in or whatever. So I just went to like a parking lot and did like the day I got the clip they wanted me to emulate. They're just like, take like a minute of this and kind of like give it back to us. I just got in my car and I did like a selfie video with the sun kind of hitting me the same way and kind of talked like him, just like my first run at the accent, like my first go. And I watched it, I was like, this is actually really good. I'm gonna send this. Like, I think this is it. So I got the accent like really quickly. But then of course, like once you're doing the movie and you're going to be doing it for 5 months and you really want to live in it, then I was like every day I would like watch every morning I would watch a 10-minute video of him. I would like sometimes if not in between takes, but like if I had downtime and I went back to my trailer, I'd always watch him again just to make sure that like that accent was kind of always in my head and I wasn't hearing the Freddie accent or the Roger accent or the Brian accent. I was just hearing John. Um, Eventually, when you do a movie for like 5 months, by the a month in, I was just like crushing it with that. Like I could just go in and out of it, like ask a question in my normal accent, go back, this and that, this and that. Um, and so that's like that's great when you get to kind of that point. And then the facial expressions, yeah, I just studied what he kind of did. He like, the way he would like squint and kind of he would like the way he would like kind of hold his hand. He was just like he had a like just sort of a way about him that you again, with studying it, you discover it. And it's funny you talked about the dialogue. I ad-libbed probably 2/3 of my dialogue in that movie.
Are you
Like,
serious? Wow.
yeah, and they like let it happen. Like, I threw in a couple things like the first day that they laughed at and they liked. So then after a while, like there would be a scene where I didn't have any lines, and they would like come on set and be like, this, and then Joe just like throw some stuff in. Like, okay. So then we would like do a rehearsal and I'd try out a joke, and if it got a laugh, okay, we'll put that in. Like a lot of people like the line where I say, and, it's just a bit weird, Roger. What exactly are you doing with that car? I made that up. Like, and, so like I was very fortunate that they gave us a lot of freedom. They allowed us to play around. We all loved each other so much that there was a lot of chemistry and we were able to like banter a lot easier with each other and really enjoyed it. So it was pretty cool. That was one of the best experiences I've had, I think, on a movie set in my adult career for sure.
Yeah, and you're
Wow.
still friends with Rami Malek to this day. You were at his premiere for The Amateur. I saw on your Instagram, right?
Yeah, I was there in London and New York actually.
That's
So
amazing, man.
yeah, and I got to see him. He was in a play out in London, so I got to see him. Gwill was in a play, plays Brian.
Hmm.
So I got to see him. Just hung out with Ben in London. I always go to them. You know what I mean? Because they all live in London. So like I always go see them, unfortunately. But yeah, I was just with Ben a couple weeks ago. We're still very close. And I think we will be for our whole lives. Like even for like birthdays, we've done trips together. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, and speaking of traveling, I want to talk about Italy for a bit. And you mentioned, your father wanted to go like reconnect with your grandfather, and that's why you went to Italy. And I know you've been to Italy too. Like, tell me a little bit about that connection. What is it? Because I'm going to Italy for the first time in a few weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that connection. Like, what do you feel when you're there? What's it like? Do you feel the presence of like your family there? Like, tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, where are you going? I gotta know.
Amalfi Coast.
Oh man, that's one place I haven't been actually.
Really?
Do you know where your family's from?
Calabria, Cosenza. So I'm not going to go to that area, but
Yeah.
it's for my honeymoon, so it's kind of you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
you
I'm
got to
going
do the
for.
nice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
No, I definitely feel like a connection to, my past for sure, and connection to my family. And it's just in Rome. It was the seventh anniversary. Excuse me. It was the seventh anniversary of my dad passing away. Back in May, and I went to Rome and I spent it in Rome just to kind of, yeah, feel his presence and, know that it was like his favorite city in the world. And just to be there was like just really, really nice. Try to, do some of the touristy stuff still, but also live a little bit more as a local. I first went when I was 19 and I was too young to go. I went with a friend and, I didn't have a perspective. It was hot. I was complaining about things. That trip like wasn't the best, but Italy itself was spectacular. I went to Milan, Lake Como. Where else did I go? Went to Florence, went to Venice, went to Rome, went to Naples, went to Pisa. Big tour. Um, Got to
so
go back, experience Venice in a better way where it wasn't as touristy and I had a little more money and was with people with a little more money. So we got to go to some very nice restaurants. And then for my 40th birthday, me, Gwil, and Ben, we went to Puglia. And just the three of us, we went together and again, just like kind of tried to live more like a local, like if it was like you know, the place I grew up. And now that I have my citizenship, I just always want to keep going back because not that it's like not that it's not easy to go as an American, but it's just I guess I don't know. The feeling is different. Like it's more fun to be like, yeah, this is my country, this is my home. Kind
yeah,
of.
that's true.
But yeah, every time I'm there, I'm just like, it's filled with excitement and it's astonishingly beautiful. I went to the Dolomites a couple years ago, which, doesn't feel super Italian. There's a lot of like Austrian German influence up there. But just the most beautiful place I think I've ever seen in my life was the mountain range of this Seceda 2500, it's called. It was the most beautiful place I think I've ever been. Like my knees buckled when I took the gondola up. And so every time I'm there, I'm just struck by how beautiful it is. Of course, how good the food is, how nice the people are, how welcoming and warm, um, how expressive everybody is. Like it's just like, oh my goodness, it just feels like I'm sitting in my grandfather's house eating, Sunday lunch, big bowl of macaronis, we would call it, sitting in front of me and just everyone laughing and having a good time. It's a beautiful place to be. And I know I'll be back very soon.
And Joe, tell me a little bit too. Do you think like the Italian culture shaped the way, you see the world or like stories that you're drawn to as an actor and filmmaker?
Um, yeah, I wish that like there was a little more I wish there were more stories about Italians that weren't based on either like the mafia or like chefs. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like and those stories I love. Like, are you kidding? Like, there's not a mafia movie I don't want to watch. Like, I'm so in.
How about Sopranos? You a fan of Sopranos?
Um, not as much as other people are, actually. I
Surprising.
it's whatever, it's great. But I feel like the movies, the Scorsese films and the Coppola films just are better. And I don't know, The Sopranos is rough, like because like I have so like I hate them so much that it's hard for me to get behind it. Like I feel like, oh geez, that was loud. I feel like it just represents Italians so negatively. And I know it's not like, of course, all Italians. It's just this like
Yeah.
particular thing. But like some people I feel like love Tony Soprano. I hate him. I think he's an awful person. I hate everything he does, every way he reacts. I hate it all. And I just kind of go like, ugh. And it's like you don't want to romanticize it either, of course. Like,
Hmm.
but I don't know. There's something like, I mean, did you guys? I loved The Irishman. Oh my goodness, like
You know what?
everybody did.
See, yeah, I don't know. For me, I'll be honest with you. The Irishman, I liked it because of Pacino. Because Pacino's my favorite actor.
Yeah.
I just felt they were too old to do that movie. I feel like that movie should have been done like 15 to 20 years ago. I mean, God,
It,
that's my complete honest opinion.
the
The scene when De Niro's kicking that guy,
it's
you
so
lost
bad.
me there. You lost me
It's so
there. It's
bad.
like,
It's That's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I think I totally agree with you. Like
yeah.
I forgot
it's
about that.
clearly like the face replacement thing was amazing technology, but when it came to the body, it was just like this is
But even the
really
face, Joe, there's a thing I saw online of like there's a thing called deep fake technology, and it looks way better. It looks even better than what the Netflix did. That probably
Oh,
spent
yeah.
millions and millions of dollars.
I know
This
it was
guy,
like the first go at it, right? It was like the first run. But like, okay, take all that aside,
yeah,
think of it as like a trilogy, right? Like you have Goodfellas where like even though it's like super violent and these guys are like bad, it still is like kind of sexy. You know what I mean? Like it
yeah, it has
starts
that vibe. Yeah,
ever since I was a little boy, I always wanted to be a gangster. And like so there's something to it that is like cool and like, vibrant and you're alive. And then there's like Casino, which is like really like it's hard for me to watch Casino. I think it's so dark. And like the scene at the end where they're like,
yeah.
burying the guy's alive. I'm just like, ooh, this is tough. But then what I think he does, and I think it was the right moment for Scorsese to make this movie, the fourth act of The Irishman is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, where it's
Huh.
like, yeah, it's a mafia movie. You got these things, you got the betrayal, you got all the good stuff that you've always had in his movies about like the mafia. But then it's this fourth act of just like total sadness. It's so bleak, where it's just like, was it worth it? Was it worth being a scumbag your whole life? Was it worth killing your best friend? Was all of this worth it? Now you're alone. Your daughter hates you. You're picking out
Oh,
your own coffin. Like, Pesci's in jail. He can't even feed himself. And you just see like the reality of what that lifestyle is, where it's like, no, it's not sexy. It's not that thing that looked cool back in Goodfellas. Now Scorsese's in this other part of his life where he's older and has perspective and shows like how like terrible like what these people were doing were. And so I just thought it was like so ballsy and successful in that way and like so unexpected because you thought you're just going into like another mob movie. Man, I thought that movie was just excellent. So like, I don't know. Sopranos is good. My heart goes to other places. That's what I'm gonna say.
yeah.
But
That's a good take on it. That's a
and
good
I
take.
wish, and I just kind of wish there was more. I mean, even like Rocky's amazing. You know what I mean? And Rocky, I feel
Oh, Rocky, yeah, Stallone, yeah, of course.
like
Yeah,
Us.
like that movie's so amazing. I think also because and that one's the closest I feel like where, yeah, it's a boxing movie. There's like what 6 minutes of boxing in that entire movie.
basically, yeah.
It's really about like the modern Italian American working class experience
Yeah,
for most of that film. I wish there were more like that for Italians. You
yeah.
know what
But
I mean?
even in
Like
Rocky, he
he
was a
still had to do a
police
little mob
man
bit.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly,
Little
exactly.
mob.
It's like,
And listen, that's a part of it, right? That's a part of a lot of the
yeah,
story
it's true.
of
Mhm.
like Italians in the States at least, like what, back in the day where everyone was a little connected, you could get into that world or you could not. Like, so it's a part of it and it's authentic. But that's especially now, like that's not everybody's story. That's not my story. That's not
No,
like,
it's a very
Exactly.
me and Mike always talk about it like on other interviews too. It's such a small slice of Italian American culture. Not
yeah.
just Italian American, Italian Canadian, just Italian culture in general. And I think people that are not Italian, they look at Italians like, yeah, you're mobsters. Oh, you're this. You're Italian. Oh, you must be
Yeah,
connected. It's
exactly.
like,
Hide your
and
wallet.
it's like there's
Yeah.
Italian. Trust me, we had Steve Sciarippa on, who played Bobby Bacala on The Sopranos. You
Yeah.
tell him like, because he gets on a real tangent about. It. He's like, there's
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
doctors, there's Italian people,
No.
good people, and he's like, I hate being that I'm, oh, you're the mob, you're raspy voice, you're a mobster. It's like, he's the best.
Yeah,
And
and you
one
see
thing
that I feel, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing about Sopranos is they do touch on it a bit with like the negative connotation towards Italians. Like there's some actual Italian Americans in that are pissed at Tony Soprano, like with the whole psychology thing and saying like, why do you even help this guy? He like represents, you know what I mean? So I'm glad they touch
Yeah,
on it.
I think
It's
that's why I love Sopranos because like it's so weird. I feel like the reason why I love it is because you're right, Joe. Like Tony Soprano, to me, I've always said it too. Like he's like there's a line that Silvio says to Tony. It's like, yeah, Tony, seven deadly sins and yours is pride. I met him, they like, just pride? He's got gluttony. What's rage? I don't think that's it. But I think it's like Tony is so he's like manipulating the audience in a way to love him, right? But like I think we're able to just look past and say, no, this guy's like messed up in the head. He's bad. And I just think we get to learn about the psychology of a guy like that. I don't know, that it's just so interesting to me. I look at it
Yeah,
more than a
it is.
mob
I
show.
know. I do like it. Don't get me wrong.
No. Of course, I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's like, I totally agree though. He is like a terrible human being.
Yeah,
It's like
I just
Walter
find
White.
him
He's a
especially towards
terrible
the
human being.
end, towards
so
the final couple
detestable. I find him.
seasons.
What's that?
Especially towards the end, like that final season, he's just
Oh,
horrible.
he's a
Just
terrible. Yeah,
terrible.
the worst. The worst.
Yeah, I just find him so detestable, and I feel like he's kind of lionized. Like people are like, "Yeah, Tony Soprano." I'm like, "No,
You know,
no."
you know why they say that, Joe? Because people who don't watch the show, they watch these edits online of like the best moments and like the funny moments, and that's why they go, "Oh, yo, look, he's so cool," right? But that's so too funny, man.
But getting to what
Um,
you were saying, like, yeah, about like Italian doctors, Italian, it's true. Like, and I feel like you see this for like some other cultures where like you'll see movies where someone's like, "You're a this," and they're like, "Yeah, you got a problem with that? Like, you don't think that my kind of people can be this?" You never saw that with Italians. You never got that moment. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it was kind of I don't know. I think it was missed somewhere along the line of like making sure that people knew that like Italians were, you know, at, in every walk of life in this world. And I think other cultures have gotten that, and it's all right though. We've done all right for ourselves. We found a way up, and I'm not complaining. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I do wish there was
Like
just
a
more
thousand
movies,
percent.
more movies about Italians where it was just like they're like a normal person. It's not
For
like,
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Um,
agree.
Before we end off, I just want to do a quick little, fun little Spitfire game. We have eight little simple questions here, and we'll love to
I'm very
see.
long-winded. I'm not good at this part, but I'm going to try for you.
No, they're really good. No, these are good. They're really. It's like it'll make you kind of go, like, oh shit, like okay, I gotta think about it. But yeah, they're really good. So the first one is, and you kind of already answered it earlier. What's a film role you auditioned for that you really wanted but didn't get? I guess besides Hook, I guess I don't know if there's a different one.
Oh, jeez. Well, in the Social Network, I auditioned for Eduardo,
Oh, that
which
would
is
have been epic.
Andrew Garfield's role.
Yeah.
And Fincher, it was like the casting director and Fincher, like they had like slightly different ideas, and Fincher really wanted Jesse uh, for what's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, sorry. And so then that kind of pushed Andrew to Eduardo, and then that kind of pushed me a bigger fall down to Dustin Moskovitz, who didn't have the biggest role. But yeah, I would have loved to have done that. And Andrew's great, and I loved Andrew. But that would have been an awesome role to do. I was actually cast in The Sandlot as Smalls. But I couldn't do it because it conflicted with Jurassic Park, and I
Okay,
couldn't.
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
didn't
say,
want
listen, I love Sandlot, but dude, you did the right choice for that one.
it was
I
the right
love
choice.
Sandlot, but
yeah.
Jurassic Park, come on, are you kidding
So
me?
that's a role I actually got, but I would have loved to have done. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been real cool and true. Okay, next one. What's one Italian food you think is totally overrated?
Gosh, the desserts, man. I
All food.
I'm not a desserts guy, so I agree. I agree.
don't love Italian desserts. I don't love a cannoli. I don't. And I love like all Italian food. Like I love Italian food, but the desserts, the what are they called? The pretzels? I don't know. They're like
The
they,
like
they
the sfolia, I guess. Like
I don't know what they're called. It's just
The pizzelles, the
yeah, yeah. My grandfather would just
That's
always
all good
bring
stuff.
home like a thing of these, and every one of these cookies, I was just like, these are all disgusting. I hate them all.
Oh man.
So that would be my one issue. I always think like the cheeses are better, the wines are better, the food is better, but the desserts,
okay.
not for
All
me.
right, number three. What's your biggest guilty pleasure movie?
Guilty pleasure movie. You know what? I'm not even. It's not even guilt. It's not even guilt. I think Billy Madison is a masterpiece, and I'll defend it every day of my life.
Who says it's not? It's a great. I love that movie.
That's the best.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I went to film school, you know what I mean? So I'm supposed to be a little more pretentious, and I do love really pretentious movies actually. Like
Yeah, but I'm
yeah.
glad you said. But you know why? Because it's funny. I don't know if you know Letterboxd, right? That app.
Dude, I'm on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
Follow me.
yeah. I'll follow you. Yeah, yeah. Wait, what is your
I'll follow you
handle?
back.
What is what is it?
What is it? It's probably just like my name.
Joe Mazzello?
Probably something like that.
Okay, I'll see if I can find you on there. But
Signed in as yeah, either Joe Mazzello or Joseph Mazzello.
yeah, because it's funny. They do a thing on I don't know if you like follow their Instagram. They like go up to celebrities. Okay, what's your top four films, right? And it's
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's like I never I don't it's like I don't recognize any of these movies they're saying. They're like, oh, this movie from like the 1930s, 40s. It's like, dude, my four: Rocky, Goodfellas, The Mummy. You see it here. Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Those are movies, bro. That's movies.
Yeah. I'll put Robin Hood Men in Tights on my guilty pleasure list too.
There you go. All right,
Love that.
beautiful.
That one works. All right,
Uh,
and I may know the answer to this one since you're how you called pasta macaroni earlier, but do you
Yeah.
call it sauce or gravy?
We call it sauce.
Oh, okay.
nice,
We always
nice.
called it sauce, man.
I
My
thought you'd say
friend,
gravy.
I no, I talked to, like the Consiglios who I was talking about before. They call it gravy. We always called it sauce, but every pasta was macaroni. Didn't
Yeah,
matter.
see, to me, it's people are either it's pasta and sauce or macaroni and gravy. That's
I don't
usually
know.
I don't usually hear it split like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. We're unique, the Mazzellos.
Yeah, I love.
The next one. If you could be any superhero or villain, either DC or Marvel, who would it be?
Jeez.
Can I say one thing?
Uh,
You actually like I could see you playing the Flash. I'm just saying that. And that's a compliment.
dude, I wish that'd be awesome. Who would it be? I don't know. Maybe like I always loved Gambit from X-Men as a kid. But the answer will probably be Superman, guys. I'm sorry, it's got to be Superman. My buddy Tyler Hoechlin just got to play Superman, so shout out to
Yes.
Tyler.
I love that show, eh? I
And,
love the show. I'm telling you.
he's one of my best friends. He's awesome and he's
Yeah.
great in it. But like Superman, you get everything. You get everything. He has a wealth of riches. So
Beautiful.
probably I would want to be him.
Cool.
How about this one? Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin, and why?
Frank Sinatra, come on, dude.
That's the right choice.
It was
Like,
quick. Why Sinatra?
because I grew up with him. Like my grandparents would always listen to him. Even my grandmother on my mom's side, she was always playing Frank Sinatra, and she's like Irish English, but like no, Sinatra was like almost a deity in our family.
All right.
Love it.
And the last one for
Good
you,
actor too.
the what? Sorry?
And with Man with the Golden Arm, I think it's called. It's an old Sinatra movie. He was a good actor too, not just a good
Yeah,
singer.
yeah. I never watched that movie, but no, yeah. A lot of that. I think Dean Martin did movies too. I think
Yeah,
all the
yeah. He
singers
was a little
dabbled
more
with that stuff.
crooner, like fun, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But Sinatra did
for
some
sure.
dramatic roles that were really good.
Yeah. The last one here, this is a pretty good one. If you could reboot any classic movie and star in it, what movie are you picking?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I'm a huge Jimmy Stewart fan.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting.
so like, but like, so I might want to say like It's a Wonderful Life, but I don't want to do it because I don't want anyone else to do it but him. So I don't even know if that's like the truth. Um, I mean, if I could be, I mean, I would love to be in an Indiana Jones movie. My goodness, I would love
To
that.
be Indiana Jones, obviously, right?
I don't even have to be Indiana Jones. I'll be like a sidekick. It's fine.
You'll be you'll be short round.
Sure, yeah.
except you're not 12 years old. Then you
No, not anymore. No, no. Yeah, I would play Indiana Jones. I would love that. I would
that'd
do
be
that. But
awesome.
like, oh, also like, no, actually, I have my better answer. The true answer is Back to the Future, and I would
Where
want
is it?
to
There it
McFly.
is.
I
It's
would want to reboot because I think I've got more of a Michael J. Fox look than a, Harrison Ford look. So I'll say Back to the Future.
That's awesome, man. All right, Joe. Well, that was we had a great time today. Thank you for doing this interview, man.
So did I.
Honestly,
Yeah, it was fun.
what a blast. And thank you for doing this. Yeah, we got to stay in touch, man. Honestly, we have you on Instagram and
Yeah,
whenever you get your merch, let us know and
I
let's stay in
will.
touch and see if we can do more collabs on the road and stuff.
It'd be really
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, and follow me on Letterboxd.
I will
I
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man.
yeah.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Joe. You had
much.
some good stories too, man. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Oh yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But we really have so much time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
No
you. Have a good
problem.
one. Chat soon.
Thank you.
Bye.